So I know in the Bible, they say that if you don't believe in Jesus, that, the results of that can be quite bad. What would you say happens to someone that does not believe in Jesus and maybe believes in Krishna instead? So who is Krishna, and what would the difference be between that and believing in Jesus? And what would be, maybe a problem there, if any?
Well, typical homegrown Christian theology teaches that if you don't accept Jesus Christ in this lifetime, then you're cast into hell forever. We take issue with this idea on several different fronts. First of all, hell is not a place of eternal damnation. The Vedic scriptures describe there is a hell which is meant for the recalcitrant soul's reformation. But it's not an eternal place. It's not that God's sitting on a throne somewhere laughing, ha ha ha, you're burning fire and brimstone and sulfur and torment for eternity. Hell is meant for our reformation. Something like if you have a son or daughter that makes some offense and they stay out too late or they don't do their homework, you don't cut off their arms or starve them to death or lock them up in the basement forever. You say, okay, you're grounded or something. You give an appropriate punishment. Let the crime, or the punishment fit the crime.
Yes.
So what you're talking about also ties into the idea of reincarnation. Because Christian theology teaches that if you don't accept Jesus Christ in one lifetime, you only have one chance. If you don't, then you go to hell. So I was having this discussion with one Christian gentleman. So I asked him, I said, what about the person, say an Aborigine in the outback of Australia, who doesn't accept Jesus Christ because he never heard of Jesus Christ? Does he go to hell? What happens to him?
Never had the opportunity.
There's millions of people who never even heard who is Jesus Christ. There's millions of people who never heard the word Jesus. What happens? And they only have one chance, but your teaching is that they only get one chance. What happens to them? I said, well, they can go to heaven because they didn't reject Jesus. I said, shh, don't tell anybody. It's a contradiction, you see?
Yes.
We have many opportunities. I can forgive someone 12 times, and God can only forgive us once. If we accept that God is the most compassionate, understanding, merciful person, then he only gives us one chance, and if we don't do it right in one lifetime, then we're destined to go to hell. And if we're sitting in hell, say a person leads a moral life. He gives in charity, he feeds people, he's chaste, he's honest, he never lies, he never cheats, he never steals, he's an upstanding citizen. And when he dies, by this idea, then he goes to hell. And is he going to be sitting next to someone in the lake of fire that was a murderer, a rapist, a thief, a liar, a cheater, a politician? Will he be sitting in that situation?
Yeah, where would the justice be?
Where is there justice?
Let
the punishment fit the crime.
Yes.
It's a very simplistic way of understanding things. Now we say that there's reincarnation. If you don't want God, okay, you can come back here to this world. But if we come back here, then you have to, Bhagavad-gita says, Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanu darshanam. That we have to accept birth because we're born. Because we're born, we have to accept death. In the interim period, there's disease and old age. These are the concomitant miseries of accepting life in the material world. The goal of this Krishna-conscious religion is to leave the material world and rejoin God in the spiritual world and serve Him eternally in spiritual happiness and spiritual ecstasy, bliss, to serve Him in a relationship.
So conversely, what would the personality of Godhead, as you speak about, Krishna, what is his personality like towards his devotee?
Krishna is called Bhaktavatsal. Now, I live in a farm community, and one of the devotees there raises cows. Not for food, but for the most nutritious, valuable food substance, milk. Not pasteurized, homogenized, put in a plastic bottle and stuck in a freezer somewhere. But milk from a cow. Okay? I met some kids one time, and they said, well, where's milk come from? Walmart? Does milk come from Walmart? No, milk comes from cows. So I was watching this one cow. She had a new calf, a beautiful little calf. And I was petting the calf as a newborn, this beautiful creature. And this dog came up. And the mother cow, its eyes got big like this and came walking over to the fence, like, get away, because she has so much affection for the calf. He's licking the calf. There's so much feeling for the calf.
Protecting her young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of Krishna's names is, God's names, is Bhakta Vatsal. That he has that same affection, Vatsa means a calf, has the same feeling of protection and loving compassion for his devotee as a cow has for her calf.
Yeah, I often hear that, if you don't believe in Christ, you always go to the hell. But in my study of Srimad Bhagavatam, it explains there are 7 upper planetary systems, 7 lower planetary systems. Would you like to throw some lights on that, how it works according to our karma or something like that, if you have studied a little bit deeper?
Yeah. So Bhagavatam also describes that there is a hell. We don't say there's no hell. But the distinction we make is it's not eternal. Hell is a place you suffer for the sins. We're responsible to God. And there's such a thing as sin. Sin means to disobey the orders of God, like to slaughter animals and eat their flesh is a sin. To steal, to lie, to rob, all these different things are sinful activities. When we deny our responsibility to God to live an upstanding, righteous life, these things are sinful, and we're responsible for that. It's not that there's no one out there watching. If we accept there's God, we should understand there's a witness, and we're responsible for the acts of our life.
So you've taken certain vows, in what you follow, and there's some basic principles there. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
The basic principles of our life.
Of the vows that you've taken.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
We advocate chastity in marriage.
Mm-hmm.
No meat eating. That means no meat, fish, or eggs. No animal-type foodstuffs that are products of violence.
Strict vegetarianism.
Strict vegetarianism. No meat eating. No gambling. And no intoxication.
And so the meat eating is to not slaughter animals.
Absolutely.
These are
We have no right.
no right to kill them.
And in the Bible, by the way, it does say, "Thou shalt not kill." How are you going to eat meat without killing the animal?
Yeah.
Unless you can eat some roadkill, maybe.
Yeah. So there's a similarity in there, certainly in the Bhagavad-gita as well as the Bible, where animals are not to be eaten.
Yes,
or
absolutely.
Killed. Yeah. And no intoxication.
No intoxication, because we say that we're intoxicated enough in this life by the concept of material life, that this body is the self. And this body is so nice, I have senses, I can see, I can smell, I can touch, I can taste. And how long can we do that? Sooner or later, we die. There's no guarantee in life. We're here for 7 minutes, or 7 hours, or 7 years, or 70 years. But we die, and the whole show is finished. We're intoxicated with the material conception of life, that this life, this body, and its senses are everything. And it's not. So to increase the identification with the body through the artificial ingestion of intoxicating principles, alcohol, marijuana, opiates, all these type of drugs, even up to coffee, tea, cigarettes, these things increase the conception that this body is the self, and the goal of life is to please my senses. It's not. Our goal is to please God. The Vedic scriptures say, Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhaktir Uchate. That devotion means to please God with our senses, to see for Him, to hear for Him, to do everything in our life for His satisfaction. That is spiritual life.
So everything that you do is an offering or a dedication to God.
Ideally, we're striving for that. I don't claim to be perfect in that regard, but I'm striving for that.
I see.